Alright guys, we're here on the minute. I'm gonna start refreshing. This is it. Who's ready for disappointment? Now the only debatable aspect here is in what form will this disappointment manifest? We have, I think this is Zoe. It's a little princess girl. Okay. Yep. It's not Zoe. It's actually just a neutral card. This isn't the champion at all. False alarm. Young Witch. This is it, guys. We have the reveal. Elusive. 2 mana 1/1. Support. Give my supported ally quick attack and +1/+0 this round. Okay, I'll have to recap this later. Flower Child. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, they're doing this in the back. Okay, this is my bad. This is my bad. They're doing this in like the kind of like weird way from before. So Flower Child is a 1 mana 1/2. When I'm supported, get a little bit of extra stats. Fuzzy Caretaker, 4/3/3. When I'm supported, give me 0/3 this round, and it can support to give supported ally. Tasty Feyfolk just has lifesteal and nothing else. It's a 3/4/2 lifesteal. That's kind of interesting. Wow, this is like a really furry set. Swole Squirrel. Oh god, this is gonna be one of the meme ones. There's already Reddit posts. I guarantee you right now, if I go to Reddit, this was revealed 90 seconds ago. There's already Reddit posts about this. They're literally thinking furiously. They're in their head. They're like, oh god, what meme format? What meme format? What do I do? Is it you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about? What? Oh, what's the meme format? What is it, guys? I need the karma. This is just, it's so easy. This is such low-hanging fruit. Swole Squirrel, look at this. This is a really funny card. Like, I will say, this is fucking hilarious. This is like... the fact that it's also a double effect, strike, double my power. I wish it was like a funnier card, like, effect, but, I mean, it still is like a redouble effect that is still like a meme effect that can get really big. Like, that's really crazy. The one thing I don't understand is like, when is Mogwai getting in the game? Cause like, I'm Bubble Bear, and Swole Squirrel is very obviously Grappler. Like, obviously that's what they were going with this, right? So now they just need to add Mogwai. Like, this is literally, if they were gonna add Grappler to the game, this is how they do it. You guys think this is like on accident or something like that? You guys, like, it's all commentary. Do you guys not see that? Bubble Bear is like, okay, it's an elusive, cause Swim plays elusives. It's got 0 attack, cause Swim sucks too much to win a single game. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, Riot. And it's obviously a commentary about my poor eating habits and discipline. Swole Squirrel. See, it goes beyond the art. It goes beyond the effect. Swole Squirrel is obviously Grappler. It's like, it's not only super jacked, but it's just like an obviously terrible meme card, which is, I think this is the only kind of card Grappler has ever played, right? Like, they aren't doing this on accident. I'm still offended, by the way, that they gave me 0 attack. They're like, it really is commentary. This keeps me up at night. I think about this. It's like, it's an elusive, but it's 0 attack. So it has this promise of being, you know, useful, but it's just completely useless. And it just does nothing, right? It's like, when you look at it at first, it seems like it knows what it's talking about, until you watch it more and you realize it's just full of shit. So let's actually go through this one more sweep, and let's talk a little bit more about the individual cards here. We're not going to go super in depth. This is still going to be our first impressions. But we are going to kind of like talk about the potential of each card and the general rating. So these are the Ionian cards. Young Witch is a 2 mana elusive 1/1 with support. Give my supported ally quick attack and +1/+0 this round. So basically, I mean, okay, it's got the elusive keyword. That's the thing. You guys have to understand. It's like, you guys are saying it's gonna be bad, and like, the thing to understand is it's got the elusive keyword, which means there's only so bad it can possibly be. Like, better drummer. It's a way better drummer. I think this is a pretty good card, guys. I think this is a very, very, very solid card. It's not like absolutely insane. I want to point out this is Ionia. These cards are Ionia. This is not Targon. Just to be clear. This card is pretty good. I would very happily rate this a swoon out of 10. Swoon, for those of you guys who are somehow unfamiliar with my revised emote ranking system, for better degree of clarity, swoon indicates that this card is very good, will find home in many decks and many metas. It's not like absolutely nuts. This card is quite good. Like, the fact that this has elusive, I know it's got 1 health, and I'm not going to say it's like, it's not going to be good in every meta or anything like this, but it will exist on the competitive level. It's an elusive card that has a pretty decent effect. There's a lot of ways to use this. Like, the sheer fact that this card is elusive makes it pretty good. If this card wasn't elusive, it would suck. But every elusive deck just wants more elusives, period. If you guys think Young Witch is shit, you guys don't understand what it means to be an elusive. You guys don't understand how elusives are degenerate if they just have any even bad elusive. Like, yeah, it's a bad card, but it's elusive. Who cares? It's a way worse duo? Yeah, it's a way worse duo. But elusives would be super happy to run a way worse duo. Absolutely. Not even close. Okay, Flower Child. When I'm supported, grant me +2/+0. So grant is permanent, which means this card is like very, very commonly a 1 mana 3/2. Now, that's interesting. That's interesting. In theory, it's a little crazy because in Legends of Runeterra, they do this in some games. God, I remember a very, 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 very long time ago when they released Zombie Chow in Hearthstone. Anyone remember when Zombie Chow hit? Basically, when they print like high stat line cards that are like 1 mana, things can potentially get pretty scary pretty fast. However, overall, the card grows in attack, which is really weak. It growing in, like, having high attack natively and growing in health would be stronger, because you really don't need more than like 3 or 4 attack. After that, you're just gonna get blocked no matter what. Also, it can't get the damage in on turn 1 like something like Legion Rearguard can. And in addition to that, it is definitely going to be a bit dependent on your draw as well as your deck build. So ultimately, we have to compare this to Legion Rearguard, and it falls short in that comparison. The thing about Legends of Runeterra is that because cards have the ability to be paired... Because cards have the ability to be replaced by spell mana, 1 mana units need to be OP to be good, right? Like Omen Hawk. Even Omen Hawk, as absolutely OP as it is, still sees cuts in multiple deck archetypes, which in theory is so crazy. But that's just because spell mana means the core identity of 1 mana units just becomes less valuable, right? We already have conditional 1 mana 3/3s. Exactly. This one's a much easier condition than Bark Beast. Bark Beast is like, you kind of can't even come out on turn 2 unless you have like the ridiculous nut hand. But overall, this card ain't great. I would be very happy rating this card a "this is fine" Yasuo out of 10. It is a decent card. You can run it in like some budget things, but it's not really going to be run competitively. Then we've got Fuzzy Caretaker. When I'm supported, give me 0/+3 this round. And it's got support. Give my supported ally +3/+0 this round. This is actually kind of interesting. It has, I mean, the fact that it gives itself strength, or health, I guess we say. The fact that this gives itself health is really decent, right? It, like, basically, unless it dies right away, so you play it on turn 4, right? If you're attacking on turn 4, you'll then attack with it on turn 4. And if you're adding this to your deck, you're pretty much going to have a support already on board on turn 4. If you're not attacking on turn 4, you're going to open attack on turn 5. What that means is they will kind of only have like one action to remove this. Like, they will only have like one chance to deal this 3 damage. That's a little scary, because as soon as you attack with it on 4 or open attack with it on 5, it's a 4 mana 3/6 that has an effect. I mean, this round, but they have to deal with it on one of their turns. They still get like half the turns in the game to deal with it. I mean, this has to be bad, right? This one's a little weird to evaluate, but like, it ultimately is just a little too slow and flimsy. It does heal itself. Like, so the thing is, even though it's give not grant, it's important to note, like, it does heal itself every time. Because the way temporary health works in Runeterra is it doesn't subtract from your maximum if it goes down, right? Like, or, you know, you're healing and gaining temporary health, and then you're losing temporary health without losing the healing. Good with something like Dragonlings. Dragonlings is very interesting here. I will say, this one seems really clunky and hard to use. Competes with Targon on turn 4 too. It also competes with Targon on turn 4. I think that this one is like, it really feels like it's almost good, but this one feels really, really clunky, guys. 6 attack Zed with Fuzzy Caretaker. I mean, the 6 attack Zed with Fuzzy Caretaker is really hilarious. The only problem is, I mean, Zed doesn't really need more attack. It's like, it's kind of funny to say, but like, Zed having more attack doesn't really do that much very early, because the opponent's just going to be blocking it anyway, right? It's not like it does nothing, but it doesn't do as much as it probably seems. So the curve would be, on turn 2, you play Young Witch, on turn 3 you play Zed, and on turn 4 you play this Panda thing. So your Panda gets the Young Witch support, and your Zed gets the Panda support. Which means that this Panda becomes a 4/6 quick attack. The Zed gets 6 attack, and the Young Witch is just like 1 elusive damage. Just 1 elusive damage. That seems, I mean, it's a little lacking, right? Feels niche, but not trash. It's pretty niche. It's pretty niche. I mean, even after all that, it's gonna be like super vulnerable to removal. And you're gonna want, like, you know, something that doesn't get support, right? You'd have like too many supports. I think this card is pretty bad. Honestly. I am inclined to say that this is closer to a Sad Poro than a Heimerdinger. Ultimately, like, the card will pop sometimes, but it's gonna be really unreliable against like higher level decks. The fact that it's a 3/3 on defense is really, really, really awkward. The cost is a little bit too high. Yeah, the single fact that it competes with Tarek on turn 4 is pretty awkward. So unfortunately, I will have to go ahead and give this a Sad Poro. I know. It's not gonna be a bad card, but it just doesn't have what it takes to be competitive. Which, I mean, I would use the word bad to describe that, but there's no bad cards, guys. There's just cards that try hard and don't succeed yet. No such thing as a bad card. Just not competitive. Just dog shit. Okay, Tasty Fey Folk. 3 mana 4/2 lifesteal. What the fuck is going on here? What are we doing with this one? Is it better Dreadbloom? It's a better Dreadbloom. That's like kind of crazy. Shit card? Wait, you guys are saying shit card? Are you kidding? Dreadbloom is literally straight up competitive. You can run Dreadbloom outside of Toss. You don't need Toss to run Dreadbloom. This card is like ridiculous. Are you guys kidding? This is literally insane. Like, this is an absolutely ridiculous card. Dreadbloom is better? Smiley face? What? What do you mean Dreadbloom is better? This card has a bigger number. Bigger number is better. Dude, this card is crazy. This card is absolutely ridiculous. Tasty Fey Folk? I wonder what that means. Is he himself tasty? I can use recall and return with it. Yeah, you can use recall and return with it. Like, the only question is, like, does this fit into Ionia decks? It looks like swim. You guys think this looks like me? Hang on. Wait a second. Let me try to do my tasty Fey Folk pose. It's doing like the kind of like anime goo goo eyes. Oh, senpai. Kind of like that, right? Something like that. Is that no good? Tasty swim. I don't know. There's something going on there. I need to get a little bit better at that. This is at least a Vlad. I think it could easily be a swoon. I'm between swoon and Vlad. This has to be good. And we'll do kind of like podcast later. We'll get the boys and we'll get everyone's reactions and stuff. But man, this card is at least a Vlad. A Lux. As much as I like this card, it's no Lux, guys. This card is no Lux. I'm sorry. This card's pretty good though. I mean, it's like better than Zed. Like, you'd always take lifesteal over whatever the hell Zed does. I think, like, it's sort of crazy. People have this, like, bizarre obsession with Zed. This is sort of like a reverse Zed. Like, Zed deals, like, 3 damage every turn, and this heals for, like, 4, right? It's like a reverse Zed. That's solid, dude. That's so solid. Something bit his arm. I know! It's so tragic. This is actually some sick art, though. It's like he's too tasty for his own good. Something just kind of walked up to him and bit him. Although, I will say, if he was as tasty as advertised, you would actually think that they would just keep eating. I have to imagine a better rebrand for this card would be enticing Fey Folk. Because I can't imagine he was actually that tasty, right? A lot of things in nature have, like, you know, a bite taken out of them. And usually those things have reasons for you to stop biting. Being quite tasty and being like a big eggplant monster, I mean, I'd probably just keep eating him, right? He tasted himself? Did he eat himself? There's no way. There's no way. They wouldn't imply that with the art, right? They wouldn't imply that with the art. That is way too... That's why you're fat. Come on, guys. Why are you gonna do this to me, dude? Okay. This car... I'm gonna stop. I'm kind of like... I'm stalling a little bit here. I'm filibustering. Let's get a vote in. Let's get a vote in. Vlad or swoon? Shout your answer out now. Is this a Vlad or is this a swoon? 3 mana 4/2 lifesteal just seems so good. Isn't that insane? This is a swoon. This is a swoon. I'm making it official. Tasty Fey Folk is a swoon. And next up we have Swole Squirrel. Swole Squirrel is the easiest Heimerdinger emote of my entire life. Swole Squirrel, I don't need to think about this. Swole Squirrel is the embodiment of the Heimerdinger emote. By the way, I just want to point out, the Heimerdinger emote is basically the same as the Darius emote. You guys have to understand that. The Heimerdinger emote is basically just like Darius, but it's at least funny about it. I will say, this is a fucking hilarious card. Like, this is really, really, really funny. And, like, there will be memes about this card. And there will be Reddit karma farmed about this card. And I'll play this card at some point. And Grappler will play this card at some point. But this is not a card that will exist on the competitive level. Like, you don't really want plus attack. You need to, like, attach it with a lot of things for it to be good. And it's always going to be, like, too vulnerable to counterplay. Right? It starts at kind of like an unnecessarily low amount of power, and it's never going to be able to strike enough times to actually get good. This is a really, really funny card, but I can literally guarantee you it's not going to be on the competitive level. Because there's a lot of cards that you can already kind of do this concept, but better. Like, for example, if you did want to do like an all-in mega combo, you've got stuff like Lee Sin Might, or stuff like Shiraza. Even like Shiraza Kato is better than this, right? Judgment's the funniest thing with this card, by far. Swole Squirrel plus Judgment. This is like where it gets hilarious, because you use Judgment on Swole Squirrel and it strikes like 5 times. It strikes like 5 times. So let's do a little bit of basic math. You use Swole Squirrel plus Judgment. And your opponent has 4 units on the board. So it goes 6, 12, 24, 48. So on a 4-unit board, it's a 48er. And on a 6-unit board, it goes to 200, or I mean 192, if you want to be precise about it. But that's like, I mean, that's really, really funny. The point is, though, that, I mean, you're never really going to need that much damage. Atrocity? Yeah, you can definitely try to finish it with Atrocity, but you're probably better off doing something that's going to be, like, helping enable strikes. Something that, like, gives it Elusive, or something that gives it Overwhelm, or something like Judgment. So you're probably going to want to run this with, like, Ghost and Judgment, right? I mean, that's, like, here's the thing. I'm sure it's not the most competitive with Judgment. If you want to build the most competitive Swole Squirrel deck possible, it'll probably be running Noxus Ionia, almost certainly. But it still won't be very competitive. If you want to make it the most memey deck possible, then you're running Judgment. What about Dragon Kick? So how does this work with Dragon Kick? Because Dragon Kick says it strikes both, right? What order does it strike them in? Hey, Default Char, do you know? Do we know what order it strikes them in? Because it should strike twice. Default Char says, Development Confirmation, it strikes the unit first, and then the Nexus, which actually, I think it says on the card, so I think we didn't need confirmation for that. What the hell? So it strikes the unit, and then it doubles its power, and then it strikes the Nexus, and then it doubles its power again if they're even still alive? Okay. I mean, that's really funny. Like, that's not great, but again, that's really, 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 really funny. Like, this is a hilarious card. I love that they printed this card. It's like, it's such an easy concept. Yes, this won't be competitive. There will still, like, people can still get to, like, Masters with this, because you can get Masters with, like, starter decks, or, like, Ren Shadowblade decks. But overall, it will not be a competitive concept. The funniest ways of using it are definitely, like, Judgment, Dragon Kick, and, like, some, like, Might stuff, for sure. Some, like, Kato or Might stuff. Hilarious card. Really, 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 really funny. Like, I love this card. Are there any other ways to use this? Apart from those big 3, are there any other really, really funny ways to use this? Unyielding? That's just too slow. You'd rather just, like, run just Judgments into Ghost, man, and just hit them for, like, 200. Rally? Rally only works if you already have Ghost, yeah. You can use, like, Rally plus Ghost. Shen? Shen is actually kind of okay. Shen is kind of okay. Whirling Death. Yeah, you would use Whirling Death in the Overwhelm one. 100%. You would use Whirling Death in the Overwhelm one. That's really funny. Taric and Gems. You can try to use this with Gems. This is better than Pursuit. Oh, hell yeah. This is much more funny than Pursuit. Kato and Whirling Death. Yeah, Kato and Whirling Death is going to be kind of disgusting on this. So if you Kato this, if you turn 4... play Swole Squirrel, turn 5, Kato, and you have 3 mana banked for Whirling Death, and you attack on turn 5, you will have a 6-attack Squirrel, you will Overwhelm, you will Whirling Death and double up to 12, and then you'll hit them for 12, and then you'll go to 24 attack after that, and then you'll go down to 21. So that's how it works. It's kind of weird, where it'll double off of the temporary Kato buff, and then it'll lose the temporary Kato buff, so it'll end up at 21 attack. Of course, that's useless. but it's really funny. Math isn't right. That should be right. It should deal 12 damage. And I think that's... I mean, it's pretty funny, but I want to be able to kill them on turn 5. How do I kill them on turn 5? Frostbite kills it? Well, we're out of Brittle Steel range, which is really nice. How do you kill it? How do you, like... I mean, all you have to do is do the same combo, but you need to get an attack on turn 3. And it shouldn't be that hard to get a free strike, right? Maybe there is a more competitive way to use this. Draven Axes. You won't... You do actually have mana for Draven Axes with this combo. I mean, so with this combo, you do have 3 mana unused. You have a turn 3 play. So how do we add to this combo? Because we know our turn 4 and our turn 5 double play. So we have 3 mana missing the entire game to do the 20 damage. Maybe this is actually like, okay, this won't be tier 1, but this might actually be like more competitive than I thought. It might be like kind of surprisingly easy to get this in. Twin Disciplines? It can't be, because you need the 3 mana to be played before turn 4. It needs to be, because you can't bank 6 going into turn 4. It can't be a spell that you play on the turn. Inspiring Mentor. So Inspiring Mentor gets redoubled to 4, right? No, it's because it's only the single double. Yeah, so it just takes it to 14. Mentor +2/+2. Just any elusive. Yeah, the Targon Mentor? You can't run Targon in this deck. There's no way. Not a chance. This is just Ionia Noxus, guys. Ionia Noxus. God, are we going to have to build this? I think we're going to have to build this out. Man. For now, I'm going to give this the Heimerdinger emote. This is the situation that the Heimerdinger emote was designed for, specifically, which is like, this is a card that, like, is gonna be bad, but actually has potential, and if it hits that potential, who knows how good it could be. And that's kind of what Heimerdinger emote is sort of like meant to be. It's gonna be, like, don't get me wrong, it's not likely that it'll reach, like, tier 1 ranks, but it could be, I mean, it could be at least, like, a sort of hilarious, cheesy finisher. The fact that this has 4 HP is insanely important. I can't stress that enough. If this had 3 HP, it would be shit. The fact that this has 4 HP actually makes it, like, a potential card. So that's my overall initial impressions ranking. If you're watching on YouTube, check the pinned comment, because I'm going to be updating my rankings as I go and adding comments for things that I think about later on.